Hello everyone, welcome to the 5th global judging session for Geeklist Hack for Good. All day today we're checking out projects built around the world by thousands of developers in dozens of cities all around the world. The theme of this session just now is ecosystems and nature. And we're going to be seeing 4 of the teams that have been selected by local city judging panels and virtual judging panels as being those most likely to have a large positive impact on the theme of ecosystems and nature. Very happy to be joined by our challenge partners on this theme, Fauna and Flora International. So Gavin Shelton's been heading up the heading up the engagement, and he got so much into one of the teams that he's decided to take himself out of the judging process, as I think he couldn't help but be biased. So he's going to be, I'm sure, watching on YouTube, and that's just a fantastic outcome to have partners getting so into the projects. So we're joined by Kate, Roger, and Erin. Hi guys, good to meet you.
Hello. Hello, thanks for having us.
Of course. Would you like to quickly introduce yourselves and what you do and what you'll be kind of looking for in terms of the projects we'll be seeing?
Yeah. So my name is Katie Liebrooks. I work for FFI, actually looking at our conservation impact as part of my role. This is Roger.
Yeah, I'm Roger Ingle, part of the communications team here at Fauna and Flora International. Get it right. And I think I'm looking for maybe different types of engagement that can come from the different solutions and how they can help communicate FFI's work to a global audience.
Hi, I'm Erin Parham. I'm the GIS coordinator here at FFI. I'm going to be looking for innovative ways to use data and create data, and also about the application for real conservation and mitigation benefit.
Great, thank you guys. I know that the teams are going to find your input extremely valuable. We're going to get started with PalmDetective, one of the selected teams from Amsterdam. So I'll hand over to Sicko in Amsterdam. Hi.
Hi there. Hi everybody.
And you're going to have well, introduce yourself first, and then I'll give you 3 minutes to talk about what problem you've been addressing and how you've done it, and show any demo that you want to.
Yeah. Well, so my name is Sicko from SAS. I'll just start the presentation. I'll put on the screen share so you can see the. Alright, and of course the screen share doesn't work. I think I have to reconnect again with another browser because this one is a bit trouble. So be right back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. We'll probably go to Treevotion then. Casper, if you're ready.
Yes. Hi. So my name's Casper. And I was part of the London Hack for Good. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
yeah. Yeah, excellent. I've done quite a few hackathons, but mostly helping out rather than doing my own projects. So I'm really happy to be able to present Treevotion to you today. I think that's all I want to say about myself, so I'm going to see whether I can get my presentation going. Oh, that's not. Dan, do you know how I can switch to the presentation? Easy.
There you go.
Can you see that?
Yep.
We can, yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah, we had a pretty big team. I mean, I only posted this challenge on Saturday lunchtime, so we were quite late of the start, mainly because most of us were in other teams or doing other things, having other roles during the hackathon. And I was really keen to have it, or for there to be a project trying to meet that challenge. So I put this project up on Saturday lunchtime, and pretty quickly we recruited a team, a pretty international team. There were 3 of us who were based in the UK, and Gavin from FFI was so involved that I put him on the team list. And yeah, I think it was very wise for him to not be on the judging panel. So yeah, there was Gavin, there was me, and there was Joe and Craig in the UK, and there was Eve in New York City, and there was Fardin in Iran, in Rasht. And this is the challenge problem we're trying to address. So how we can spread more knowledge about threatened trees and their importance in the changing climate, and use the information to engage new supporters. So the idea I had was really about a personality test, but generally speaking, so we wanted to build a sort of quite social fundraising tool to offer a bit of a fun way to learn about threatened tree species, but also something that can be spread very easily and shared very easily across social media, and as a sort of nice to have or additional feature to also raise money for tree conservation. Once I got that project off the ground and the team joined me, we were having a lot of fun with the more sort of romantic implications. So from a personality test, it moved very quickly more into the direction of a dating app. So the tone and vision around it changed quite quickly. The core ambitions were really for wide reach, so to engage new supporters or a cold audience that didn't really know much about tree conservation, and for us to be able to connect and enter sort of mainstream discussions around climate change on these subject matters. And you know, we wanted to make it quite fun and shareable. And in terms of the hackathon, we were keen to build either a rapid prototype, rapid prototype, or at least a proof of concept for a responsive web app.
That's about 1 minute left.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll hurry up. So, so we're trying to make it very personal. So we're asking people, what are your like question, and then trying to match them against trees with their answers. One thing we really focused on was tree value, and that played a big role in the trees results people were matched against. So this is how far we got so far, because there's only 1 minute left. I'm not going to go through it in detail. But basically, we've done a proof of concept, and we've done a very basic test of this proof of concept with sample data, and that worked, but it's not a live prototype. And those are the things we started on, but I won't bore you with that because I'm sure you're very keen to see the questions. So this is a screenshot from our non-live prototype. It only works locally. And these were the type of questions we were asking. So would you live in a hot or cold climate? And according to the answer, we'd always narrow down the type of trees that could be served as a result. So I like it hot, moderate for me, there's no such thing as cold, only wrong tree bark. Then are you shy or do you enjoy company? I like my own company, and the more the merrier. And these questions would refer to the kind of the way these specific trees would grow. So that's how we'd split them apart. How adventurous are you? According to the environment these trees would grow in. So danger is my middle name. I've been known to walk on the wild side. Caution is my middle name. And do you live your life at one pace or do things in spurts? Obviously refers to the way they grow. Build, that's pretty obvious. You stand out from the crowd or do you blend in? Finding Wally. I'm the one with the flag and the orange suit and just one of the crowd. So at each question you'd only select one, and that would narrow down the kind of trees that could be served to you as a result. So with this last one, really focus in on the way some of those trees have a secondary use or a tree value assigned to them. And then you'd click to find your tree, and you'd be matched with a result. So this is just an example, obviously, and we'd have some basic information about the tree, and then we try to really get something in there about those tree values to explain easily, well, both how those trees are, the impact those losing that tree species would have, and what other roles they play. And then you can see the calls to action at the bottom. So we spent a lot of time on our business logic. That was probably the most difficult thing to achieve, because we wanted to have something that was really scalable to at least 8,000 tree types. So the way we did it was very similar to a Venn diagram with 7 circles, and then a fail-safe diagram, fail-safe result, just in case the overlap was 0. So which each question, like I said before, it narrowed down the type of trees that could be served to you, and any tree that was eliminated at any question could not be served as a result.
Casper, do you mind skipping to the end?
Okay.
Just to give the other teams a chance to present as well. Thanks.
Sure. This is the end. So these are the next steps for us, really. So one is obviously about developing partnerships. I mean, FFI and Botanic Gardens Conservation International have expressed an interest in continuing to support this. But for the team, really, we need more samples in our database to be able to test this successfully. And we'd like to make a fully functional prototype so we can do user testing. There's a whole bunch of additional features that we deprioritized at this stage. We were quite keen to build in a map feature, and also maybe, I mean, I know some people now, team are very keen on this, to actually develop this into a real-life dating app. So that people who've been matched to the same tree can be connected. And that's it.
Great.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, so how do I get out of this? Martin. Yes, so do you have any questions?
I've got one question actually. It's kind of a practical one, but if you went up to the 8,000 trees that you had potentially in the database,
yes.
How many questions are you looking at to kind of narrow down?
We wouldn't increase the questions just because that's a user experience issue. We kind of we'd stick to the 7 questions we have now, or a similar amount, maybe 8, but not 10.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could spend more time talking about the business logic, but that was one of the most difficult aspects, to have something that would be scalable, and this is essentially scalable to any amount of trees. I mean, it's still a lot of work because you'd have to assign trees to groups that match against those questions. So that's something that would have to be done, but it's scalable to any amount.
And it's a web app, is it? That so
yes, that's right. So it would be a web app. Yeah. So it's responsive, so it would be available on any. I mean, we had mobile in mind for this mainly, but obviously you can look at this on a tablet or on a computer as well.
Yeah. Perfect. Right.
Yeah, I think it was. It's really interesting to kind of hear more about the idea, and I think that it ticks a lot of boxes in terms of what the Conservation Challenge was asking for, in terms of being quite social, so having that ability to kind of spread widely once we've got a few people engaged with it, and if there's the capacity, I assume, to share it through social media, so which is really positive. I like the idea that it can connect people together in the end who share that common interest. I guess the one thing that sort of I wondered about in terms of what we're looking to do is increase people's knowledge of, or engage people in tree conservation, is would there be opportunities to find out about other tree species? You're very clearly matching a person to a tree, which gives them a connection quite personally, but what about sort of some wider conservation issues? There was lots of great ecological data and threats to trees I saw on that one that you pulled up in your example, but I guess engaging people more widely would be something that I would like to know more about.
Yes, I mean, for the MVP, so for the minimal viable product, we tried to keep it really simple. So that's why we restricted ourselves to 2 calls to action as well. Obviously, on the next screen, there'd be links to like the Global Trees campaign where you can find out more about these kind of things. But that's kind of those are resources that are already available. So we didn't really want to make them part of this project, other than linking to them or directing people into to those kind of sites where you can find out more. For us, it was really key to make this about personalization. It's the, you know, I mean, there's this cliche that you can't really, you know, sort of, that it's easier to connect to one individual, relate to one individual story than it would be to a statistic. So that's why we made it about one tree rather than about all of them at this point. But of course, you know, for general information, because people would presumably try and find out more, all of that information would be there, or would be linking out to it.
Okay, great, thank you.
That was actually my question, just about the how do you maintain the conservation message as people are interacting with the application. But I think, you know, you've got things in the pipeline, and making it visual, and also linking with the BGCI FFI partnership quite easily for people to be able to interact with that information would be definitely a positive.
Yeah, okay.
I know you're really pressed for time, Dan, so I don't think we've got any other questions for now, but I just wanted to say that, especially for a late effort, that's a really a great idea, and I really love the idea of giving that kind of personality to trees, because you see lots of quizzes relating to the fauna rather than the flora for the work that we do, and it's kind of a misconception that all trees are the same, and there's so much scope and variety. So it's really great to see something like this giving people a connection and showing the trees and showing how different and individual they are as well.
Great. Thank you.
Great plugin. Thank you, Casper.
All right, then. Thank you.
Thanks all. Some great feedback there. So now we're going to go to Siko, who I think the screen sharing is working for. Hi.
Yeah. So I'll just start, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can see the image. Okay, so my name is Siko van Sas. I'm on the PalmDetective team together with Jorge Saez Gomez, Mark de Ruiter, and Nivek Yaron from Kenya. We took up the challenge to help stop the spread of palm oil plantations worldwide. As you can see on this image, on the right we have rainforest, and this is being rapidly replaced with palm oil plantations. In Indonesia alone, between 2009 and 2011, 25% of the deforestation is accounted for by palm oil plantations. This obviously reduces biodiversity, and deforestation also has a large impact on greenhouse gases, estimated between 10 to 15%. The problem is it's hard to track these plantations. It happens everywhere. Governments and activists either need to manually look at satellite images or be on the ground and actually see where it's happening, and this takes a lot of effort. So our idea is a semi-automatic system which helps in this process. We'll start at the top. We have an automatic classification system which takes satellite images and looks to them and sees whether they're palm oil, forest, or some other category. Next up, these images are again stitched together, and obvious errors like this red square in the left can also be automatically corrected. Still, this system will not be 100% correct, so we need the crowd to actually remove the remaining errors. And this should be a fun interaction, because people already like to look at Google Earth or Google Maps to actually see the world, and while they're exploring rainforests and countries, they can now also help improve saving the. They can help saving the rainforest. With these corrections made by users, we can actually improve the algorithm, the classifier, so it will be more accurate in the future. So what's our progress? We already have a working system which can accurately classify satellite images in 66% of the cases, but we still need you to help improve our system, so we can help stop rainforest removal and help these guys you see in the image. So what are our next steps? We can definitely improve on the algorithm. We only had a short weekend to create something, and more advanced algorithms can definitely result in better classification accuracy. We need to pressure satellite image suppliers, because right now it's quite hard to get high quality satellite images. So we just crawl the images from Google, and after 5 minutes they kick you out. So this is not ideal, so we want to have more high quality constant supply of these images. There's actually data of some governments which say which plantations are legal and obviously the other ones are illegal, so we could be automatically detecting these. And in the future this might also be applied to other crops which endanger the forest. So basically that's it. Thank you for the presentation, listening to it, and I can show you a small demo of it working. So right now we'll be classifying 200 images, satellite images, and we'll see the results in a few seconds. Okay, so this is a result. It predicted this image to be palm, and it should have been forest. So, well, there's a big red bar. This one was not correct. Well, this one was correct. It was a forest image, and it was predicted as forest. Another one, this is wrong again. It predicted it to be forest, but it was actually a palm plantation. And here again, you see a palm plantation which is correctly classified. So you get the idea. This is another image, the final image I want to show you. On the left, you see the input satellite images. On the right, you see the output of our classification algorithm. And on the most right image, you see how some of the errors are corrected. For example, this gray image over here has been automatically removed because it was surrounded by red images, and this improved the accuracy. Yeah, so basically that's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I've got a very quick question to start with. You might have covered it, so sorry if I missed it.
Yeah.
How big are each of those squares?
Oh yeah, well, good question. So right now we just took images from Google Maps, like real quick. It's hard to get. So these images could, in the end, differ in size. But right now, if you look at it, in this one, well, over here you see a house. So maybe 30 meters or something, 20 meters, 25 meters on each side, something like this. So yeah, it doesn't work if you have like a 2 cores of satellite image. Like if it's you need to be able to see the distinction between palm trees and rainforest, obviously. So that's why we need the high quality images. But yeah, there's a large scale of zooming in on these images, which could actually be used for this system.
So it's scalable, but as long as you can differentiate between palm and forest.
Yeah, exactly.
My sort of question was perhaps slightly more technical, but what kind of capability of a system would you need to be able to run this? Like what kind of application would it be, and how powerful would a computer?
Yeah, good question. Well, right now you saw that it classified a few hundred images in a few seconds. This is just on my normal laptop. It's hard to determine this exact figure because we'd be talking about classifying like possibly the whole rainforest zone in the world on every update of a satellite trip around the world. So I think these algorithms, and especially better algorithms than the one we used, can be really fast, and I don't see this as a big problem. It could definitely be something to some cost which can be paid by NGOs or maybe government. So it shouldn't be a big problem. But it's hard to put an exact figure on it.
Great, thank you.
So I think this is a really great application. Working with remotely sensitive imagery, I completely understand the complexities and often the frustration when needing to come out with a product that's produced through this automatic processing. I think my question is, how does this application fit with other existing data sets which are there? For example, there's Global Forest Watch, there's other initiatives such as Witness, who are looking at mapping oil palm encroachment and threats to biodiversity. Is there, have you got plans to link this kind of work and the outputs with those other initiatives? Or
yeah, for example, the Global Forest Watch automatically uses satellites to see deforestation, but we've read the paper and it apparently has quite a lot of trouble to distinguish palm oil plantations from forests because they're both trees. So this could definitely be an addition on top of research like this. Yeah, I'm not aware of every other project, but as far as we know, this could be a valuable addition to monitoring projects like the Global Forest Watch.
I think it's a great project, and I love the idea of crowdsourcing it to kind of to get through those problems of the algorithms not being able to be absolutely 100% perfect, and it's a great way of engaging people and making it more.
Should be fun.
I've just noticed that a fourth judge kind of has popped online, so I don't know if he's got any questions. Josh? Oh, he might not be there. He seems to be frozen. So
Oh, I see him. Or no.
Any questions, Josh?
We can see him there.
he's there, but he might be looks a bit frozen.
You see, I can hear him. I can see him. I think.
I'm sure that if we get Josh back, that he can ask some questions later. But I know that you're pressed for time, everyone. So just to sum up, I thought it's a really great project and really interesting, innovative ways of highlighting an issue there, and also being able to kind of establish which areas are palm oil and which haven't. I don't know if you've got anything else to say, but I thought it was really interesting.
I thought it was really interesting.
Very innovative.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have we got Dan there? Or?
Dan is setting up for the next interview round of projects, and let's see, we have another team ready to present here, right, Heather?
Right.
And we can't hear you there. Let me see.
I have muted myself.
We can hear you. We can hear you quite.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can.
Okay, great. All right, so I'll be quick as I know we are short on time. I'm going to share with you Science Ping. So here we go. So I've got a Prezi I'll run through quite quickly. So, okay. The Science Ping essentially is an app that we've built to connect with Twitter, and we've designed this around a Twitter account called SciPing. And essentially, you follow SciPing if you want to be an agent in a local science operation. And so this happens in real time and just where you happen to be. So we're playing with it, making it a little bit fun. So it's like Black Ops, but green. And here's a quick video to show you. Now there is music, there's no sound, there's no words. So if you hear, I've just sent a tweet and I'm moving on some science things. Sends me a notification asking for operators to go out and find missing nearby. And how this works essentially is science thing is calling Twitter to find followers in this region, posted science topics. So only people within a radius get a notification. What's good though is that it won't see other people able. So that's one barrier we can have to do for science operators. Participate in the observation, and through my smartphone, I get data to the science. So the challenge is essentially that we were addressing, they're multiple, but it's dependent on the citizen science operation that is logged into Science Ping through a database. So essentially scientists go to the database, they log in what their operation is, what the data is. Yeah?
I'm going to have you hold for 1 second. Were the judges able to hear the conversation during the video okay? You have to mute yourself. Sorry.
Unfortunately, no. We missed. We saw the visuals, but we missed the commentary with it.
Okay. Roger and I actually watched the video.
We judged the virtual teams on Monday. So two of us had already seen the video. But we didn't hear any of the explanation over the top. If there was any, I'm guessing there was.
A little bit, yeah. So there's not any in the video, but I was providing commentary over it. So that's something. But I can give a really quick. I mean, the video basically explains what happened. So Twitter is calling for tweets that happen in a particular location, and essentially is sending out to anybody in that location that has tweeted anything that there's a science operation near them. So it's really quite a tricky thing that you can do with Twitter. Finding people in a location, they have to have a location enabled. So that's how it works. We have tested it. It totally works. There are a couple of challenges with getting Twitter to allow us to call them and send messages or call for information more than 15 times every 15 minutes. And that's just, it's a general governor they have, and apparently you can pay or apply to have that extended. So you can have as many projects as you want, so long as Twitter allows you to. So I'll just sort of get to what challenges we're addressing. It's mostly public awareness, because we do expect that the people who are involved in the science operations are going to be retweeting what they're doing. I mean, it's an active way to engage people where they are. So you don't actually have to ask people to, put on their clothes and go outside and go do something. They're already near the place where the action needs to happen. So it really makes engagement quite easy. And of course, we're addressing any of the challenges or any of the issues that citizen science organizations, the organizations asking people to do science, are putting out there. And so we know that there are chats, that there are organizations asking for us to collect information about species, about high water events, extreme weather. So this essentially, it's mostly about public awareness, but it also directly provides scientific information. So I provided some personas here. So this person collects information. She's really excited about getting citizens to help her collect, but also to raise awareness of her initiative. Same thing, this individual, his particular initiative requires real-time data sort of in a specific time and place, and he can configure SciPing to get his agents out there doing that work that day. And this individual is just a community member wanting to raise awareness of ecosystem health through cataloging where amphibians are locating. And so the agents essentially are a range of people. So this person is actually a committed citizen scientist who likes to do this when she travels. And because it's a location-based ping, she can get pings anywhere in the world, wherever she happens to be, that SciPing is enabled, or that scientist is using SciPing. This person's worried about climate impacts and wants to contribute somehow, doesn't have a lot of time, and wants to know more. She's not really an expert. So what SciPing does is it gives her the information she needs about climate impacts or conservation issues in her community. And here's somebody who essentially is just, wanting to be a reformed selfie taker, and she's doing something more productive now with her photos. So the user experience, I essentially went through it in the video. All you have to do to participate is follow SciPing and have a location-enabled tweet, and then get the notification leading you to. The back end of this has not been fully developed, but essentially what would happen is we would have a website where the scientist or the organization goes and logs what their science operation is. It would lead them through a variety of questions asking for what kind of metadata they want. It could be anything from photos and videos to location, species, type, I mean, you name it. And essentially then they define the coordinates of their study area and set it to go. And our intention would be that they would also have a dashboard where they can see how many people they're reaching out to, perhaps how many retweets their tweet is getting, their SciPings are getting, that sort of thing. We know we can collect these methods. And what's cool about this is that it can be applied in a variety of ways. It's a piece of code, like I say, we developed in 48 hours. I want to give big thanks to Jessica, who I know is watching, Jessica Thrasher, and Tim DeWitt as a mentor helped us through this. And we also had help from Kevin MacArthur and Herb Lynchberry and all the background stuff. I'm really just the comms person. And then we had, so the other applications, like I said, you can apply this to extreme weather events, travel advisories, So we expect that we probably won't, the scientists and the conservationists probably won't be the only one using this tool, but it certainly can be used for those. And there's my team.
Great job. Before we get into questions, or more, before we get into more, did everybody, I believe all 4 teams have pitched, right?
No,
We've had 3.
One more to go, I think. We haven't heard from Dublin.
We're missing Jorge? Or Sico?
Jorge belongs to my team. I think the judges said we missed Dublin or something.
Yeah, it's for detecting forest degradation by drones. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the team is missing the event. They must have maybe they stayed out late at the pubs, as you do in Dublin. If you guys don't know myself, I'm CEO and founder of Geeklist. My name is Ruben Katz. Very nice to meet all of you. Great work. Each one of the teams is fantastic, and thank you, judges, for being here with us. And we're going to give it a little time for open floor communication between all the teams and the judges. If in the next 5 minutes or so Dublin joins us, you will be put on air, and if not, then we will give you the opportunity to create a virtual presentation in Vimeo or something of the likes, so that over the next 24 hours while the judges are deliberating, you'll have an equal opportunity to pitch as well. In all fairness, these things move very fast. These events have a lot of people and a lot of moving parts, so sometimes people may be asleep when we send out invitations for the next judging a few hours away, or with time zones stretching 20 different time zones, it gets a little insane. So with that said, I'm going to open up the floor and let you guys get started, see what else you have to hear. Great.
Do you want us to quickly give some feedback and questions on that last presentation, like we have done to the other 2?
Yes. Yeah, please.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
It's the first time that Erin's seen it, but I know that Katie and I had seen it already.
You want me to
Yeah,
start? I thought it was great, Sarah. Thank you so much for presenting it. One of the things I like about it a lot is the fact that you're sourcing, not only are you sourcing the kind of the crowds to do your raising awareness through getting people to be involved in citizen science, you're kind of sourcing your scientists as well, which I think is really positive because you're actually drawing that entire community together. I think that it has massive applications in terms of just engaging people in being an agent. I know that, like, I've done things like geocaching, where you feel like you're having a little win, and it's absolutely great. I guess my only sort of concern about it might be around just making sure that you get good quality data. I know that with citizen science in the past there's been some criticisms of ensuring the right quality of data can be achieved, but I guess if we're sourcing things like photos and images, maybe we're getting around some of those issues. But did you have any kind of thinking on ensuring that this data can perhaps, be used and applied by the scientists that you're collecting it for, making it robust?
So I actually helped to organize a citizen science organization as well, and I'm very, very aware of the challenges of collecting good metadata. So the intention like I said, mostly for this app is to raise awareness of the issues in the communities locally, and to create a really easy way for people to quickly engage, and to share with their friends and to make it a thing, right? So that was the thinking behind the design, but understanding that there's a real benefit to connecting with the science and collecting data as well. It's really that's going to be applied in the design of the metadata collection, or the metadata selection by the scientists, and they're going to have to very carefully define what it is that they actually want to collect from their citizen scientists. And so that's going to come with good, careful research questions, and specific about what you're asking for. You can do that with form fields and expecting to receive particular information, or to not allow a submission without having particular information. So all that you can code. And so essentially that's up to the science organization, and I would expect, as somebody who coordinates citizen science initiatives, that we would also provide guidance for how to do that well. So like you said, the function is not only to engage the citizens, but also we could use this platform to support better best practices across citizen science organizations, which I don't know if that exists. It might. I know there are a few organizations that bring citizen science together, so that's my thinking.
Do you have any questions, Erin? This is the first time that you've seen it.
I think it's, I'm not on Twitter, but I think it looks fantastic. It's a great way to engage with people who maybe are unaware of issues, or who think that science is something which is unreachable to them. I guess for me, it'd be great to think about how this could be accessible to people who aren't on Twitter. I don't know if there's a way to link you know, other media, social media with Twitter, and to get people involved in other ways.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why we came upon moving in this direction for the app was that we observed there are a couple of websites that demonstrate that there are various kinds of social media that have location-based services, right? So as long as locations are turned on for things like Foursquare, Instagram, even Facebook. I don't know how you would call Facebook, but we were looking at a website called ecosec.com, I believe it is, ecosec.net. Anyway, so that's a Victoria-based company actually where we're from, and so we were saying, well, we know we can do it, so then we explored how to do it with just one simple way. So yes, there is potential for that, but with the time we had only explored Twitter.
No, sure. No, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, Erin stole my question, so that's good. I really love the gamification idea of it, and I think it's excellent. Public awareness would be perfect for it, and it might even be enough for me to actually leave GPS on so it doesn't drain my battery like it normally does. But I think it's great. I love it. Great idea. So,
just a note on the GPS thing, actually, you don't actually have to have GPS enabled, which is very cool with this. I think. Or you have to have location-based services only enabled for, you can choose which apps do it, right? So if you tweet with your location, then it works. Yeah.
I turn it all off because my battery is rubbish, but I'll get a new phone soon. That's great. Do we want to open it up to everybody now for a kind of discussion? I know you're quite short on time.
We've got just a few minutes before we switch to the next presentations, and you can watch the next ones live here. Oh, let's see where the link is. You can watch the next presentations live on here. It should work. And coming up live next in about 3 minutes, we have the CEO of SendGrid, Jim Franklin, the first builder of the iPhone, the guy that built the very first iPhone and took the first call ever on an iPhone, a guy named Andy Grignion, a bit of a legend in the Valley, as well as Ben Galbraith, one of the founding developers of WebOS, as well as he is now the senior vice president of global product on Walmart.com and Walmart Labs. They'll be up next. So I know Walmart has very green offices in the Valley, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we want to open up the floor for a minute or two. Thanks, everyone. This has been a fantastic session. One of my favorites so far, by far. Really great presentations, too. Well done.
I just want to say thank you for involving Ruben, for your work to involve so many of us in this. I mean, I've been able to convey to the people that I work with how awesome this is, and they weren't just jazzed at first because the word hackathon scares them, but now they just, wow, this is incredible. And in fact, the sponsor that we worked with is a global technology company, CGI, and they were participating, just watching and acting as mentors. And they actually are now considering the approach that the hackathon took for global collaboration within their own organization. They just saw how productive it could actually be. And so it's actually transforming big corporations. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Heather. And anything I can do to help or be involved, or anything Geeklist can do to help and be involved, we're happy to do it.
Just wanted to say, from our point of view, hugely impressed by all the presentations and the great work that's gone on in such a short space of time. So I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Thank you for taking the time to your weekends to come up with some great solutions that can help conservation awareness and also practical conservation on the ground. I thought they were all excellent. So thank you.
Can we have all three together? I like the idea of someone tweeting about they need some help with classifying palm oil and then also finding a date. I love that. So we have all three together.
Oh, so I could definitely read about each of those initiatives.
The great thing about
Sorry, Ruben.
the great thing about this event is that the goal here is not to win prizes. The goal here is to develop products and solutions that can have a sustainable future and help make the world a better place. That being the case, yes, you can take all three if you want them and run with them.
Well, we've potentially got one more to see as well, of course.
Yeah, all four. The goal is to really build sustainable projects, and if every project that was built in Hack for Good was picked up by an organization or partnered with people to take it forward, and everyone involved was interested in doing so, this would be a wonderful world. It would be fantastic. So I'm going to jump to the next call where we get started with the next teams. Thank you all so much for being here, and big high five. Great work, everyone, and thank you to all of our judges.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Please do stay in touch.
Thanks.
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 Bye.
Thanks.